Being on this call, to me, I feel like I'm being on one of my team call, because Paul and Lisa, we've known each other for a long time, like years. I think ever since I started New Skin, we've met. And, whenever we travel somewhere, like on success trip, I see them, I say, these are like, I feel like they are my brother and sister. And I don't say that just to say that, but we feel that close. And I feel very comfortable with them. And I think they feel comfortable with me. And in business, I feel very lucky that in my previous life, we don't have colleagues like that. If I have a restaurant and you have a restaurant, automatically that makes you my competitor, right? But in this business, it's not like that. I have my business, you have business, we're brother and sister, and we share strategy and we share what the best practices with the hope that the other person succeed. And that's what I love about this business as well. So I'm so glad to be on this call, and thank you for inviting me. And again, I feel like I'm hosting one of my team call. For my background, I went to UC Davis in California, get a degree in computer science and statistics. And then I didn't like to work for other people, so I opened a restaurant. That's what Asians do, right? You don't work for someone, you open a restaurant. And when I worked my restaurant, it was I was working so many hours because I didn't really know how to run a business. So I went back to school. I got an MBA in marketing, and then I opened a chain of restaurants. And so saying that, I'm just letting you know that, when it comes to business, I think I know what I'm talking about. So when Nu Skin came to me 10 years ago, I didn't know what it was. All I knew was they had a nice catalog with products that I assumed people wanted to buy because everybody wanted to look young and be healthy. So that's what I thought. Hey, they have the right products. There's a market for it. So there's need, there's demand, so supply and demand. I study business. It makes sense. So I say, I want to do it. I had no demo. I didn't know how I was going to get paid. I have no idea where the company was. But I just figured that, this is something I wanted to do. And sometimes I look back and I thank God because, sometimes we hear the calling, and then I don't know how you feel, but when I hear the calling and I say yes to it, and now looking back, I just feel so glad that I said yes to it. And for all of us, I think you feel the same way somewhat, that you came because you felt the calling and you felt that it's the right thing to do. So it's been 10 years for me. Now we reside in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm married with 3 girls. My oldest is 12, and then 10 and 8. And for the last 56 days staying at home, I feel great. I don't feel anxious. In fact, I can sit home and still build my business around the world. So that's one of the blessings of having this business. And my wife and I were talking the other day, and we say that, everything we have, the house, the car, the company does not want us to say this, but I cannot not say it. Because whatever we have, it's because of Nu Skin. Without this opportunity, we wouldn't be able to have the lifestyle that we have today. And I think that this is something, in a way, when I'm working now, I feel like I'm working for a mission, that Nu Skin has a great platform. And through their opportunity, through their products, we can build a great business, and we can help other people build great business as well. And together, we can be better. So today on this call, I just want to share with you something. I mean, just the things that I did, the things that I feel passionate about, and whatever I felt that I did to create my success, I feel I can share it with you. And even though I learned business, okay, even though I do different things, but I'm known as being the most practical person, meaning that when I'm looking at something, I'm asking myself the most practical question: what do I need to do? So today, the question I'm going to pose to you is, who are you? Now, it might look very simple asking the question, who are you? And if I were to look at you right now and say, who are you? What do you think you would say? You might tell me your name, right? I am XYZ. That's most likely will be the answer, right? But you are is not, your name is just not who you are. That's just your name. If I were to press you, like, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? If I ask you 10 times, you cry. Because sometimes, most of the time, we can only say, I am Peter. That's it. I am on. But then that's just the name, isn't it? So today I'm going to challenge you a little bit and to ask that question, who am I? Okay, maybe tonight before you go to bed, you look in the mirror and say, who am I? Okay. And maybe tomorrow morning you have a response to that. Now, the first question I want to ask you, so the first question was, who are you? But here's the question I really want to ask you. What is your color today? Okay, it's important. I don't know how often you check your color, but if you're green, you feel normal, you feel happy, you feel very focused, you feel very optimistic, you feel positive, right? If you're yellow, you're a little bit imbalanced, you're excited, you're addicted, you just have all these, moving, right? You're frustrated, you're confused. If you're purple, you're sad, you're sick, you're tired, you are moving very slowly, you're negative, you complain, right? And if you're red, you lose control, you're afraid the world's gonna end, you're yelling and screaming, sometimes out loud, sometimes inside your head, you're angry, you're irritated. What is your color today? Or maybe what are your colors today? Okay, so I want you to look at this board a little, this chart a little bit, and say, look at this, and what is your color today, right now? Okay, that's the first thing. It's important. Okay, and you don't have to share with anybody, so it's okay to be angry and irritated. Okay, I'm not gonna test you. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part I want to ask you is, who or what decides your color? Because sometimes we are green, right? We wake up, we're very green, and by noontime we are a little bit yellow. By the afternoon we are a little bit purple. By nighttime now we're very red. But we never stop and say, what's causing all these color changes? And it is important. It is important to me to keep on checking in. And yes, I do have my moments. I do have my days when I'm checking and I say, oh, I'm red. I'm really red right now. What's causing that? The reason I'm asking you for your color and the reason I'm asking you who or what decides that color is important. Do you know why? Because I'm asking you who is really controlling you. Because if you're red because of some outside factors, that means that someone else is controlling you, someone else controlling your emotions, someone else controlling how you react to certain things. And when we depend on outside factors, we are in trouble, right? Because when we depend on others, outside factors, when the economy goes down, we say, oh, I'm dead. Now I'm so lost. I don't know what to do. The economy is down. I think I'm not going to be able to succeed, right? And then when the economy is up, oh, now I can succeed. So we react to what happens around us instead of what's inside of us. So this is the first thing I want you to really ask yourself. Okay, your color, who makes your color, and who can change your color? And believe it or not, each of us have a certain individuals that can just flip it really fast and make us change color in an instant. Paul, you marry, you know what I'm talking about, right? Right? So there are people who can suddenly change our color. And of course, I know I'm not a saint. I mean, my wife changed my color all the time, right? But I'm saying it's okay. It's my wife, it's okay. She can do that. She's the only one who can change my color. But when I'm going outside talking to people, I would not let that affect my color. If I'm happy, I'm talking to someone and they say no, hey, if I'm green, I'm still green. When I started, and I know some of you are new, when you're starting out and somebody say no to you, you are green and suddenly you turn purple really fast. Oh, now I'm very sad, right? And then if your best friend said no to you, now you're really red. Now you're angry, you're irritated, right? Your brother or your sister says no to you. In fact, they look at you and they say, you've been scammed. Now you're scamming me. Now you're really, really red, right? But think about it. Who is really controlling your emotion right now? And if we cannot control our emotion, we would lose ourselves. And it would be very hard to be successful in this business when you are not in control. Because you cannot be red one moment and green another moment and yellow another moment and purple another moment. Because if you by yourself, it's okay. But suddenly when you have team members and they look at you, one moment you're happy, the other moment you're excited, another moment you're sad, another moment you are like angry. They don't know what to do, right? And that's the worst thing that you want to do with your team. So my first advice is to be able to control your color. Okay, that's one thing. And you and I, we do this together. So, I'm still affected by different factors and I'm watching it. See, the key thing right now for me is I'm watching my colors all the time. What's my color right now? Who's affecting it, right? And when I'm in control, I can keep myself in the green zone most of the time. Most of the time. And if I can stay in the green zone most of the time, the outcomes are green most of the time as well. Because there's a saying, right? How can you build a positive outcome future when you have a negative present and mindset? We cannot. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, the next thing I want to share with you is this. Okay, just in case you don't know what this is, I drew two mountaintops. Okay, that's my artistic skill. I put four lines together and make two mountaintops. Okay, now if you're standing on the lower mountaintop and you're looking at the top mountaintop, right? And of course, if you're comfortable where you are, you say, I'm not moving anywhere. I don't like to go. The top is way too high. I don't want to make too much money because rich people pay too much taxes. I don't like a big house because, I don't like to vacuum the house, right? Who wants to vacuum a big house? I do not like a large garden because I don't like to do all those stuff, right? Give you a secret. If you can afford to buy a big house, you can afford to hire somebody to clean your house, and you can afford to hire a gardener. Okay. The only reason that I let my wife do the gardening is because she loves it. She plants her flowers, but we have a crew of people who come into our yard twice a month to do it. But if you're not motivated by anything, you feel completely fine where you are. I don't know what to do with you, right? I hope you know what to do with yourself. But let's say if you're standing on the lower mountain, and the lower mountain represents your health, your time, your money, your relationship, your quality of life. And if you want to move up to the next level, what do you need? I mean, it's something that you have to decide. Either you run, or you walk, you run, and you have to decide whether you want to get to the top of the mountain, right? And this is something that you have to ask yourself. What do I need to do? Okay. What do I need to do in order to get to the top of the mountain? And if we are talking about a regular mountain, it's pretty easy, right? It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy because let's say if I were to tell you this mountain is full of rocks, no plants, no trees. So you are at the top of the lower mountain, and to get to the top mountain, just a lot of rocks. What do you need? I'm sure you're not gonna get to the top with your bare feet, right? You're not gonna go up there with flip-flops. You're gonna get those hiking shoes that you can walk on rocks. But if I told you this mountain is full of snow and ice, what do you need to get to the top? This is something that I learned from one of a great trainer named Keith Cunningham. He's a great business coach, very expensive. But this is something he said. From the lower mountain to the top mountain, that's point A and point B. People have no problem with point A. They have no problem with point B. They know where they are. They know where they want to go. What they fail to see or to expect is what happens in the middle. Right? The struggle, the preparation, what you need to get to the top. So when people start to think, they say, I want more money. I want to have a better life, right? My life right now, it's okay, but I want a better life. I want to make a lot more money than what I'm making right now. The problem is they don't know what to expect in the middle. So when they encounter some problems, they say, oh, I didn't expect that. I thought I just want this. Let's just give an amount of money to illustrate. So let's say you're making $10,000 a month right now, and you want to make $40,000 a month, right? I mean, I want to make 40,000. Well, forget it. I don't want to make 40,000 because that would be a decrease in income. But let's say you want to make 10,000. You're making $10,000, and you want to make $40,000, right? And everybody who make 10,000 would like to make 40,000. What they fail to understand is what it takes in the middle to get to 40,000. So when they encounter some problems in the middle, they say, oh my God, I didn't know it was so hard. So let's say you are a high school student and you say, I want to make $10,000 a month. Your counselor would give you advice on what college to go to, what career path to take, what courses to take. So when you graduate, you can get a job that pay you $10,000. Your counselor is not going to tell you, hey, go down to McDonald's and start working there. In 10 years, you make $10,000. Maybe not. Maybe not. Chances are you will not make $10,000 working at McDonald's, right? So in the real life outside, when we are given a goal, we got to know what we need to do to get there. If I were to ask you right now, let's say Lisa lives in Las Vegas right now. I said, Lisa, I need you to go to New York. Lisa has an idea on what she needs to do to get to New York. She has to start getting her car ready, or she has to buy an airplane ticket, and she has to plan for what day to go, how long to get there, and then once you get there, what to do, right? So we basically plan those things very well. But in Nu Skin, we kind of lost. So I want to go back, I want to go forward a little bit and talk to you about that one. But to make these points very, very clear to you, that if I were to ask you to climb from one mountaintop to another mountaintop, you would basically know what you need to do. If you don't know, I'm sure if the next mountaintop is important enough for you, you will consult with the expert. Hey, you're not going to consult the dead guy for sure. You're not going to call your neighbor who has never taken a walk, asking him how to climb a mountain for sure, right? You're going to Google the best experts on mountain climbing so you can get the best gears, the best preparation you get so you can get to the top. That's what you do, right? Now, the funny thing is, this is our mountains. These are our mountaintops. When you start the journey, you're a brand affiliate, right? You're starting out, you're using the products, you are learning the system, you're learning the skill, you're learning all the knowledge. And each of these represents a mountaintop. I'm amazed, and I don't know whether you encounter this one, but when I talk to people, and I talk to a lot of people, and I say, how much money do you want to make with Nu Skin? And for some reason, their automatic response always like $50,000 a month. I said, well, let's tone it down a little bit, okay? What is the first amount you want to make? Okay, 5,000. Okay, 5,000. Geez, okay, you can make 5,000. The next question I ask them is, so do you know what you need? I mean, what are the requirements for you to make $5,000? And this might sound simple, but trust me, when you ask yourself today, or when you ask one of your team members, what are the requirements? I'm not even saying, how do you get there? Okay, I'm saying, what are the requirements for you to make $5,000? And most people have no idea. They just want to make $5,000 and they expect things to magically happen. I say, look, there are several ways for you to make $5,000. One, you have about 12 to 13,000 GSV. And they say, what? I say, GSV. They don't know what it is. They knew, right? A group sales volume. You became a brand representative and you have about 13,000 GSV. You make about $5,000 in commission. That's one way. The other way is you become a brand rep and you have about 35 brand reps in your team. Then you make about $5,000, right? Because about 35 brand rep, about 3,000 point GSV each of them, that's about 100,000 points. So 5%, that's about $5,000 a month. And they don't know that, right? So first of all, if you look at each of these blue circles as a mountaintop, first, you need to know what are the requirements to get there. Because let's say we're looking, and I know when I turn on this graph, people just tend to look to the right. They're like all the way to the right, because we tend to be attracted to the big number. I don't blame you. That's what I did. When I started, my eyes were glued to the right. I didn't see the other numbers, right? It was a blur to me. And when I started, it was about $47,000 a month. That's all I saw, right? I mean, if you were to ask me at that point, what number, I would just say 47,000. Any other number was a blur to me. So when I look at the number $47,000, the next question I ask myself is, what do I need to make $47,000? Right? I haven't asked how yet, because I need to know what are the requirements first. I was new, so the first requirement was, you got to be an executive. What? Yeah, executive. So now my question is, so what do I need to be an executive? So at that point, it was 4,500 points. Right now, you have 6,000 points, right? So that is what's required to be an executive. So you got to know all these requirements so that you can start learning on the how to get there. Because sometimes we just learn the how without knowing the what. So we just doing things without connecting all the dots. So I want you to look at this one, okay? Each of you, whether you new or old, right, in the business, okay? I don't know how old in age, but in business, whether you just started yesterday or you started 5 years ago, I want you to look at these number and say, what is my next mountaintop? Okay, this is important. What is my next mountaintop? Because I know sometimes we like to jump through a few tops, yeah? Because I forget the lower one. I'm just going to jump all the way to the top. Now, yes, plan for it, but don't just do that to yourself, because if you have the lower mountain peaks and you try to skip 3 or 4 of them, I don't know. Some of you might be able to fly over it, but most of us take one step at a time. I took one step at a time. I conquered the very first one, became an executive, which is a brand representative. And then I became a goal, which is the number 1 that you saw, right? I have 1 executive under me. And then I had 2, and then I have 3, I had 4, I had 6. And when I was there, and Paul and Lisa was there as well, we needed 12 to reach the top. So when I got to 6, I got stuck because I was new. I was learning how to work with people. I was learning how to work with myself. So I got stuck with 6 for about a year, right? And my wife came to me and said, hey, what's wrong with you? How come you're not a blue diamond? I said, do you know, woman, do you know how hard it is to be a blue diamond? Yeah? Because it took me 15 months to get, to be, I was in Emerald, 6 executive for 15 months. So I was there after about 4 months. I was there, and and then I was okay there for about another 11 months. And my wife came to me and she said, why are you still here? Like, she didn't ask me, who are you, right? She should have asked me, who are you? But she said, why are you still in this position? I said, well, woman, it's very hard to go, right? I mean, you have no idea how hard to climb this mountain. And of course, she was new, she didn't know, but maybe it's good that she didn't know. She said, I want you to be a blue diamond. That means skipping a few peaks, okay? Skipping diamond, okay? So in 2 months, we actually became a blue diamond. From January 2012 to March 2012, we reached the top. But we reached the top because we knew what was required of us as far as the requirement goes, 6 more new executives, right? And so once we knew that, we knew what we needed to do to get another 6. And we worked like crazy for 2 months, waking up at 6 a.m. every morning and then coming home at 1 a.m. every night, basically. And we would drive long distances, driving 6 hours. Imagine you live in Las Vegas and driving all the way to San Diego every day for 2 months. That's what we did, right? So the point I want to communicate with you is each of these circle represents a mountain peak for you. What is required to reach that peak? So if you look at the number 4, the first number 4, that's a ruby position, right? That mountain peak requires you to have 4 brand representatives. If you don't know what that is, then you go to 2, okay? If you don't know what that is, you go back to 1. And if you have no idea what that is, well, you got a lot of homework to do, right? But once you look at one of the next mountain peak you need to get to, first figure out what is required. Second, now you figure out what do you need to do, okay? Because without doing that, you're not going to get to the top. So in 2018, I became a 4-star platinum, and a few years before that, I was a 4-star platinum already. And how I got there, because I knew what was required, and when I knew what the company required, then I knew what I needed to do. So I started to go to work on it. When you're looking at each of those peaks, now that you know what is required, now you ask yourself, what do I need to do to get there? You see, remember the lesson about Keith Cunningham when he said that we know point A, we know point B. The things we don't know is what's in between. In Nu Skin, we are very lucky. We know what's in between. We know what's in between, right? Between a brand rep right now and become a blue diamond, that's just another 6 new executive with 3 leadership legs. We know that. We know those things. It's not like a surprise. It's not like you built to 6 executive and the company come to you, oh, surprise, you need another 6. No, there are no surprises, right? I mean, when you go work for a company, so let's say you apply for a job, or if you're working a job right now, if you're working right now, right? I mean, do you know how to make twice as much as you're making right now for your company? Maybe yes, maybe no, right? Do you know whether next year they'll give you a raise or not? Maybe yes, maybe no. Do you have control over it? Maybe yes, maybe no. But in our business, you actually have a complete control over the outcome, right? Because you know that we tell you all the time, say, look, if you want 2 people to become your partners, you might have to talk to 10 people. Well, nowadays, now is actually a really good time. You don't have to talk to 10 people, they have 2. Maybe you talk to 3 people, you might have 2. I'm not saying that to give you hope. I'm just saying that now is such a unique time. A lot more people want to listen to what you're saying, right? You say, I have a way for you to make extra money. They kind of want to listen to you more. But if you know what you need to do, you want to have 2 people, let's just say you need to talk to 5 people today. Okay, and each day you know that in order for you to become more successful, to climb, to get to the next peak, mountain peak, if you knew that you have to talk to 2 people a day, then talk to 2 people a day. The challenge most of us have is we don't. And we call our leader and say, in fact, it's kind of funny. 3 days ago, somebody asked me, do you have any secrets? It's like after 10 years in the business, they expect me to have some secrets. I said, yeah, I have a secret. The secret is to talk to 5 people a day. And she looked at me with these eyes, She thought I was kidding. I said, no, I'm not kidding with you. That is the secret. The secret is if you want to succeed fast, talk to more people. Because that's what our business is all about, right? So what do you need to do to get to the top? And once you ask that question, I want you to look back and ask another one. What is holding you back? Because sometimes it's the obstacle that are in front of you that is preventing you from moving forward. But most of the time, it is what's behind you that's holding you. And what do I mean by that? I think I'm done with the slide so I can see you and I can talk to you easier. Most of the time, it is something that is holding you back. It's not something that is preventing you ahead. What do I mean? Sometimes when we do business, we are so afraid of getting rejected. What if my best friend said no to me? Right? What if my best friend said no to me? So you have all these fear inside your head that's holding you back from talking to that person. See, if you talk to that person right now, right today, you would find out the answer right away, yes or no. And so you no longer have to deal with it in your head. So if it's stuck in your head, get it out. If you have somebody that you want to talk to that you have been afraid to talk to, you want to talk to that person right away. Why? Because it's no longer stay in your head. Because if you have one person like that, and you have another person like that, and you have another person like that, so now you have 3 people who are in your head, and you are thinking they're going to say no to me, no to me, no to me. Now you're afraid of everyone else. But if you can conquer those 3, right? Conquer those 3, then the rest is going to be very easy. Once you accepted that, they might say yes, they might say no, but I'm going to deal with this anyway so that I can move on to the next people. And then it would help you tremendously. So success in this business, you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. And earlier I was sharing with Lisa and Paul and a few others on how we are doing it right now, right? I mean, right now we speed up. Yes, people say the economy is bad, but I say that's perfect because now is a good time, right? A good time for people to listen. So what happened is we're talking to more people than normal. I am talking to more people than normal, right? I'm busy. I'm on Zoom all the time, all day. I'm busier than ever. I mean, I've been in the business for 10 years and yet now I'm busier than ever. Why? Because there's so many people to talk to. There's so many people who want to listen. And my presentation now is very short, 15 minutes, I'm done. If they don't want it, I'm talking to someone else. So I'm working the business, right? And the question that earlier, I'm sure Paul and Lisa will share with you later on how to be more specific as well. But now is the time. But to know where you are, where you want to go, and to know what you need to do in the middle, in between, that's important. And in Nu Skin, you already know. There's no surprise. The only thing that is keeping you where you are is because you haven't done enough. And if you have been doing a lot And I know some of you might have been doing a lot, okay? I'm telling you, you might have not done it correctly. Meaning you've been climbing, but maybe you've been climbing the wrong mountains, or you've been climbing the wrong ways, or you climb with the wrong gears. You know, now you need to get to the next mountain peak, and that's full of snow, but you're in your flip-flop. Meaning that, you know, when you start the business, you don't equip yourself with knowledge, with skill sets. And you come and you talk to people and they say, no, they just ask you some very simple question like, oh, New Skin, how come I don't see your product in department store? Some of you already get stuck, right? Some people just say, you know, how come your price is expensive? Or now you're really stuck, right? And then some people might tell you, is this one of those pyramid scheme? Or now you're really, really stuck, right? Because we don't equip ourselves enough for the climb, right? So when we equip ourselves, it doesn't matter how steep the mountain, we can climb. Some of us will get there faster. Some of us will get there slower. But you know, we make no comparison. This is not a race. This is not a race to see who comes up first. This is just a race within ourselves to see if we get to the top at all. So some of you might take a year to get to Ruby. It's okay. Some of you might take 5 years to get to Blue Diamond. It's all right. Some of you might take 6 months to be a brand rep. I don't know why, but it's okay too, right? It's okay too, because each of us will climb these mountains in our with our own speed. We don't need to compete with anybody, but to be able to look back, look at ourselves and ask ourselves those questions, right? What are my colors right now? And who's really changing those colors for me? And it sucks that, you know, when we're excited in the morning, we talk to our prospect and they say no, and suddenly we turn red. And every single day we keep going back and forth between different colors. We're not in control. So first, be in control. We are in a business of giving people what they need, what they want. And if it doesn't fit them, it's okay. You know, we're not stealing anything. We're not making, you know, wrong promises, right? We're not pushing people to do anything. You know, right now I tell people, if I can show you how to make extra money, would you be interested? They said no. I said, okay, no problem, right? I'll talk to the next person. So you can have that kind of attitude right now. And everybody, you know, I keep telling my team the last few weeks, now is an unprecedented time. You know, in all over the world, people are unemployed. And a lot of people have no options. I mean, they do not even know what to do to make money. And I was telling Lisa and Paul in Atlanta, there are a lot of Koreans living here, and there are a lot of restaurants. They're all closed. So what happened to those employees? A lot of them are not working now, right? And when the economy opens up, even if everything opens up, they're not going to be rehired because they would not be needing that many employees because there are not that many customers yet. So now there are so many. So it's a great time to go out there and ask people, how's the economy working for you? If I have a way for you to make extra money, would you be interested? And you do that every single day, day in, day out, and we can start climbing that mountain one step at a time. So don't rush. Success comes when it comes, right? Just like flower, it blooms when it blooms. But the key part for us to do is to keep on being consistent at it, working at it all the time. So when the time comes, the time comes. And I hope you're ready for that one. So that's just a few things I want to share with you. And the last thing I want to share with you is even today, I'm still working. I'm still working on my next mountain peak. And I will work consistently. And I know even at my level right now, I don't expect to succeed overnight. I expect to succeed over time. So I have the patience for it. I hope you have the patience for it too. And together, I believe we can be better. So thank you for allowing me the chance to share today. And I wish you success. I hope to see you again. I hope to see you at your next mountain peak. Okay.
Thank you, An. That was amazing. Thank you for sharing your knowledge.